As you know, there's a lot of hype surrounding the iPhone 15. If you've been in space, then maybe you didn't see it. But if you've been here on planet Earth, then you know exactly what I'm talking about. It all started when Tim Cook and his team first introduced the iPhone 15. From there, it was crazy. One of the things that happened was a guy named Zach demonstrated his amazing ability to crack titanium with his bare hands. And he did it seemingly effortlessly. Now, it seems like this guy is about 6'6", 260 pounds, solid muscle. I don't know, I've never met him, but he seems pretty strong because he breaks phones for a living. And it doesn't seem hard for him. Then you have people putting the phones in freezer, and the rest is history. And then the last thing to happen was people said that the iPhone 15 was simply nothing more than a glorified iPhone 14 and 13, and that there was no difference. Now that I have all that out the way, I just want to talk about my opinion with the iPhone 15 and all the hype that's surrounding it. I will first start by saying this. If you don't want to watch this video all the way through, I'm going to tell you what my thoughts are first on the front end. My thought is this: the iPhone 15 is a great phone if you are a videographer and photographer. The reason why is because a lot has changed with this phone, and I do mean a lot. Contrary to what all the reviewers are saying, if you understand the world of video, then you understand what 10-bit 422 ProRes and log means and how that is a game changer, especially when you can plug an SSD directly into the phone, get your footage there, plug it right into your computer, and be done with it. In fact, what you're watching right now is the iPhone 15 Pro Max, and I'm recording directly to an SSD. So if you're still here, then more than likely you want to hear my extended thoughts on the iPhone 15 Pro Max. That's the one I'm going to be reviewing, at least because that's the one I have. I don't have the other version. So if you want to hear about those, then you may have to go somewhere else. If you are a casual user, that means you just use your iPhone for things like Instagram, TikTok, scrolling through Facebook, or watching YouTube videos, then the iPhone 15 Pro Max may not seem like a huge thing to you. And I'm not going to try to convince you that it is or isn't. Only you know how you're going to use it. But I will say specifically that there are some things that are different about this phone. Although they may be tiny, depending on how you use your phone, they may be huge. One of the things is the dynamic island. Now, if you come from the 14, then this is nothing new, but I came from the 13 Pro Max, and I can tell you that it is a huge difference using the dynamic island, because the dynamic island just makes things a lot simpler when it comes to navigating between certain programs. Let's say you're listening to music and you want to start browsing the internet. Well, all you do is swipe up, your music app goes up into the dynamic island, and you can see that it's still playing there while you do whatever it is that you want to do. Let's say you want to scroll the web and look for phone cases. Well, while you're doing that, your music is still playing up at the top. Now, this isn't different from any other iPhone. You could still hear your music playing and you get a little notification at the top. But the difference is you get this little waveform up here that is animated to the actual music so you could see it. Now, if you want to go right back to your music, no matter what app you're in, you just tap that and it opens right back up. Those little things like that are what set the iPhone 15, at least for me, apart from the other phones. Now, if you had a 14, then that's not that different. But if you had a 14 and you used a camera, then this is actually a huge upgrade. I'm just going to get into this a little bit without getting too deep because I don't want to make this too long. First of all, the iPhone 15 now can shoot ProRes 10-bit 422 log footage. Well, what does that mean in a nutshell? Well, basically, it just means that when you're recording video, you get a lot more color data. And that translates into being able to do a lot more when you bring it into your editor. So if you use something like DaVinci Resolve to do your color correction, you can use that right in that software. Now, the other thing that not a lot of people are mentioning is that this phone also supports ACES, which is a color management system that is the standard for Hollywood, basically. So if you have other cameras that use ACES and you want to match the footage together, well, it's going to be really easy to do that just by putting it through the color manage workflow in DaVinci Resolve. And that is huge. That's really huge. It saves a lot of time. Now, in addition to being able to shoot log, there are some apps out there that will allow you to be able to take control of your camera in a different way. Now, a lot of people used to use an app called Filmic Pro, but they switched to a different model where they're charging you for it, and a lot of people left it. So there is a free app available now by Blackmagic, the same company that makes DaVinci Resolve, but it's called Blackmagic Camera. That's the name of the app. If you search for that, you'll find it. I'll put a link below as well so you can download that app. But this app is very special because it allows your camera or your phone to actually operate just like a regular or a professional camera. You can control things like your ISO, your white balance, your shutter speed. You can even use LUTs on this thing. You can use false color. You can use zebras. Yes, this app has everything in it. In fact, that's what you're watching right now. I'm shooting this video in that app, and it allows me to do all kinds of things. And I think this is another level. So I took the phone out just to test it to see, what it's really capable of. And this is the footage I got. I think the footage came out very good. The room that I was in here is very dark, so that's what you can't tell by this. But the thing that surprised me about the iPhone 15 Pro Max was how it resolved in low light. It may not look like it, but this was a really dimly lit room here. This looks really good to me. All I did was pull it in, throw Ace's color management on there, and the rest is what it is. So that's what you're seeing. I didn't do any color grading on it, so that's straight out of the phone basically. I think that's pretty cool. So what I'm saying in a nutshell is this: the iPhone 15 Pro Max is a game changer. Now, if you don't take advantage of these features, then that's fine. You don't have to get it. But if you want to take your videography to another level, you can do it with this phone. Now, in my opinion, this phone is going to appeal to a certain group of people more than others. If you're in a real estate videography, this phone right here can be a game changer. In fact, it is a game changer because it allows you to take your phone and shoot in ProRes 10-bit 422 log. And you can use the Blackmagic app. You can get yourself a gimbal like this one here, and this will allow you to get steady footage without having to worry about things shaking. Now, the iPhone does a really good job by itself, but having a gimbal just takes your movements to another level when it comes to real estate. So this is an excellent phone for real estate here. Now, what you're watching here is a real estate video that I did on my iPhone 13 Pro Max, but I haven't done one on the 15 Pro Max yet. But this can just give you an idea of what's possible. Now, again, keep in mind the iPhone 13 Pro Max does not have log, so I can't really manipulate the colors the same as I can with this. And it's also 10-bit, so that makes a huge difference. So what makes this thing easy to work with is if you're a real estate agent and you want to record with this phone, you can already have your LUT together. You plug up your SSD to your phone, you take it out to your property or wherever you're gonna go, you shoot your stuff, you bring it back home, you can put your LUT on it, export it, upload it to the MLS, and you're done. Literally, you can do this in minutes and have your video together. So I think this phone really truly is a game changer. And the best thing about it is you literally can throw it in your back pocket and keep moving throughout the day. So I want you guys to let me know what your thoughts is on the iPhone 15 Pro Max. If you want to see more videos on it, I'll do it. I can do some comparison videos. I'm not really into the whole specs and comparison thing, but if that's something you guys want to see, let me know below. But until next time, I'll holler at y'all later. I'm out. Peace.